Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.
To our viewers in Lagos and around the world, you're welcome to a fresh episode of Enterprise Morning on Enterprise TV. I am Henry Igwibike. Let's quickly look at what the newspaper headlines are saying this morning, and just after then we shall serve you our main conversation. But please do well to subscribe to our social media pages across all platforms at Enterprise TV 7. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Enterprise TV 7. My guests for this segment are attorneys at law Tunji Abdulhamid and Evans Ufeli, the one who goes to the rabbi. Gentlemen, you're welcome to Enterprise Morning today. Thanks for Happy New Year to you. Thanks for having you. All right, so let's quickly go to what the newspaper headlines have for us today, and right after that we'll go to our conversation. And we're starting off with the Nation newspaper, and the big story there says 17 billion naira cash. EFCC detains a social investment scheme coordinator, and the writer there says NSIPA CEO suspended over suspicious movement of cash. Ex-Humanitarian Affairs Minister for interrogation today. And on the top slip of the newspaper, we have stock market opens with 665 billion naira gain, and government withdraws recognition for Benin Republic Togo universities. And still on the top slip of the same newspaper, we have why lawmaker Ehie resigns by Fubara, and it is my turn to be Edo's next governor, says Shuaibu. Gentlemen, let's look at the issue happening in Edo State. Shuaibu says it is his turn, Emiloko, to be the governor of Edo State. Are we still moving in the same circles? Let me start with you, Barrister Evans Ufeli.
It is nobody's turn to be governor anywhere in Nigeria. We practice democracy. So this issue of it's my turn, because President Tinubu said that and then won. Now politicians have developed that pathological deception that it has to be by turn. Turn in what sense? It is his turn because he was the deputy governor, or is his turn because he's more a citizen than other contestants, or how? I mean, the way our politicians communicate, sometimes the electors are left wondering whether this is democracy or not. What he should do is to engage in what we call political education, political socialization, to let the people know why he's fit and proper for the job. It's about canvassing and campaigning. So in the process of campaigning or campaigns, you should not tell the people that it's your turn, because if you do that, you are creating more problem than is required in the process. Whoever is of age, whoever is sponsored by a political party, whoever have gone through what you call the primaries and all that, and have been nominated by the party, is qualified to contest the election. And that is what is required by law. There's nowhere in the law where the law says it has to be torn by turn. So I think that statement is politically wrong. It should be corrected. And if he must claim victory, he must know that the Edo politics is not politics at the center. You understand? To a large extent, vote count in Edo State to a large extent. So you should not say that's quite wrong.
But Mr. Tunji, still on the same matter, we all do understand how politics work in Nigeria. Our politicians do not care so much about the electorate. They have a way of deciding how they become leaders, and it works. Don't you think he might be making sense in this?
Yeah, well, for me, as like he has spoken on the angle of law.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to.
If rule of law is respected.
He's talking based on the law. Yeah. I want to speak based on politics.
Okay, good.
You see, if he's talking law, it's 100%
correct.
Even more than there's anything like 101% correct. He's correct in that. But if you are talking politics, he may be correct in a way, Emilokan. Because the statement he made was not made generally to everybody in Edo State.
Okay.
It was between his parties. What they are going for now is the primary of the party.
The PDP, that is.
Yeah, by party. And then you recall when the president said Emilokan, he stated those historical background of why Emilokan. Okay. In other words, he's talking about among his caucus, among his group, among his people. By design, it should be his own. I'm trying to interpret what he's trying to say. I'm not saying that is what it is. And that was why when Tinubu said that time, he said he has supported so many of these he called them boys, and that was why he gave the governor of Ogun State, Ehie, so he said he has supported them, and now it's time for him to also on his own go into the ring, and therefore it is his turn to also enter the race. So to that extent, it may be correct, and maybe Tribe is also going through that lens to say, look, if you look at this caucus that we have, because in politics there must be caucus, you must belong to a caucus. You must have a caucus. There is no way you can do it on your own. You must have caucus, and in that caucus, if you look, in our caucus we are this, we are that. This has done, this has done, this has done. So it's my own turn to do now. So it may be politically correct in a way to say this and that. But if you are talking about politics generally in Nigeria, there is like you said, there is nothing like my term. This is not a monarchical system of government. We are not doing a monarchical whereby you have a lineage. That this after this lineage is this lineage. But unfortunately in Nigeria, that's the way it works. The way the primary is a major thing for some people. Once they win their primary, they see themselves as a unpronounced governor. So he may be seeing himself in that once I win this ticket to be me. So I will not blame him to say maybe we have to look at the context under which he said it. Maybe probably he's talking to his people and he's talking based on their what's it called setting. Maybe that's what he's talking about.
As an active politician, what do you think with the rift between him and the governor Obaseki? Do you think that's ever feasible from experience?
Except what is in ourselves, it will be very, very difficult. In this country, once we don't have particularly in the party, we have a party and you have a governor that from the same party, and that governor is not supporting you for your ambition, it will be difficult for you to get that ticket. Though we said it will be by primary. Primary election will be conducted, yes, we know. But this primary election will be, the way it's done. I remember a particular election in Lagos State where they want to do primary, and then the current president was a governor at the time or so, I can't remember. Okay. And then the primary election, they said okay to be open ballot. What they call it? Option A4. What's that option for? That you line behind the open ballot, whatever. Yeah. They say okay. They say all the candidates will line. Then who are those people that will vote? Those who are commissioners, those who are SCA, those who are political office holders, party leaders will be the one to vote. Ashwaju went and stood behind one person. Where do you expect other people to go? Where do you expect them to go? They go through to that side, and then the other time in the evening, some of them will start calling the other person and say, "Look, I couldn't sleep. I can't do otherwise." So these people that will be elected as the delegates or whatever the approach they will use, majority of them will be determined by the governor, because once you are in power, the parties they will be loyal to you. Exactly. Their loyalty is to you, and then you take everything. Those that will be elected will be by them. So when they do the primary, you can see. Let me also use Lagos again. The Ambode scenario and the current governor of Lagos State. At the time they did their primary, I'm very sure majority of Nigerians don't know, or Lagosians don't even know much about the current governor then. And the Governor Ambode was the sitting governor. He was beating hands down just because he was not supported by the power that be. Yeah. So if you don't have the support of the leadership of the party, particularly the governor, because in the state, the governor is the leader of the party. Exactly. If you don't have the support of the governor, it may be difficult for you to get that primary ticket. Exactly. All right, so let's move to the next newspaper. We have the Guardian newspaper, and the big story there says 29 states fail to assess 68 billion naira universal basic education fund. And on the bottom sleeve of the same newspaper, we have Southern Middle Belt leaders petition Tinubu on restructuring, and we still have Plateau killings, and now North Central governors mark
tells federal government, and the federal government directs MDAs to remit 100% of generated revenues. Gentlemen, we have lots of issues to talk about on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, but let's take them one step after another. But I'd love us to start with the Southern Middle Belt leaders petitioning Tinubu on restructuring. We would all understand that before now, when President Tinubu was the governor, he was one person that was so in love with restructuring. Recently, he has gone silent about that. Do you think there's something he is trying to hide that we do not know?
Yeah, he has nothing to hide. He's not hiding anything. He has seen the light. He has
seen the light.
Yes, the light that look.
The restructuring
will reduce his power as the president. And Nigerians will, especially our politicians, they love power, and that's why they are fighting. So that's why some of them will use billions of naira to even pursue it. It's not the money they are looking for; it's the power that you are in charge. So, and the kind of power given to our president in our constitution, I'm not sure there's any president in the world that can boast of that.
Please, can you explain that further?
The kind of power, there's nothing the president cannot do based on our constitution.
There's nothing he cannot do.
There's nothing he cannot do. The way our system is structured and the way our constitution is structured. In other words, they see him as the alpha and omega of everything. In other words, he can override anything. He can just do. He has jurisdiction all over the country. No state that he has jurisdiction all over the state, so he can do another. That's why he can call people in River State and say, "Governor, come, let's discuss," and then they will say, "Okay, we are signing a."
Aren't we supposed to have like an autonomous situation where the president, of course, he is the leader of the country, but he should not in any way interfere with issues of states to that extent if rule of law is to be respected?
When I say he has a overwhelming power,
yes,
it's not only that power alone that I'm talking about, financial power. And once you have the financial power in this country, you are the one, you are in charge. And the president has the power to control these funds. And anybody who wants to collect money, all the states we have in this country, most of them, many of them are having a good idea. They rely basically on the federal allocation. So they want to be a good boy, and then see how federal government can even assist them in supporting them in some other area. So I'm talking about, when I say financial buoyance,
yes,
is vested in the federal government. And then so doing that restructuring will reduce those power, control of finance and other things. Definitely will be reduced. And then there's no president that will want this one people I will see. And just to tell you that, look, most of these people, when they're outside the government, what they tell you is not what they actually want to do. They just want to say what people want to hear, what you like to hear, so that as to get to where they want to go and they achieve their objective. That is the way that's what they are doing. And that's why you see people who have been who call himself activist, and he has been saying he has been fighting for human rights or whatever, and upon giving appointment, you see him go silent, or he becomes a different person, or he becomes a defender of that system that he has condemned before now. So that is the situation on the ground. They want to protect. We are all, majority of Nigerians are selfish, and that's the way it is. And we sometimes to the followers, we have sympathy for those who are selfish or who are corrupt. I watched recently, I won't mention the name of the film. I went to cinema to watch that film. The film highlighted a situation whereby children who have a poor parent, one single mother, but they are all like gangster. The mother was sick and they were looking for money. They had the plan to go and rob. And you can see how people in the hall were supporting them to succeed in that the sympathy that, whenever they attempt to, maybe they are likely to be caught. People, kind of thing. So now, I was just looking at Nigerian situation as I was watching the film. I was just looking at the reaction of the people. Look at Nigerians. We are having sympathy for those who also commit crime. And that's what we see today. And when people say anything, we go by them. So the president is not only, he said those things because he was not in power at the time. Now that he's in power, he has seen the light. He has realized that, look, this thing I was calling for will not be beneficial to me as a president. So maybe when I leave, just like our former president said, when he signed the electoral act, said, don't, the young what they call it? These young people, not too young to rule law, said, but you young men, you cannot vote now. Wait till I finish my own tenure before you implement this a law. That is what you see now. You will see him when he's going, or when they are doing another campaign. They will also repeat the same issue, and then when they get in, nothing will happen.
Now let's still talk about this restructuring thing. You know, lots of people, you know, are so in tune. It's become a catchword now. Restructuring. You know, lots of people say restructuring without having a clear understanding of what restructuring is. So I would love you to break it down for us. What restructuring is? Why are our leaders suddenly scared about restructuring and its benefit?
There's nothing mystical about restructuring. I've had a lot of very deceptive and insincere people, politicians, say, what is restructuring to you? It's not what is restructuring to this one. What is restructuring to this one? It's not what is restructuring to this one. That is nonsense. We know that by virtue of the 1999 Constitution, power is concentrated heavily through the exclusive list at the center.
Okay.
That one couldn't have been restructuring different from restructuring. We know where power is. We know that the exclusive list is big and ambiguous. So, what restructuring should mean, generally speaking, is that power should devolve.
Okay.
Okay? The exclusive list have how many items? The concurrent list have how many items? The residual list have how many items? Most of the items in the concurrent list are supposed to be under state control. Do you know that as little as waterways, rivers, and streams is in the exclusive list?
Okay.
The federal government have authority over that. You understand? So that as little as if a company want to dredge maybe sand and all that, do you know you have to go to the federal government to get license to
get that done?
Sand in Ogun River or somewhere. You understand?
Okay.
Meanwhile, you call it Ogun River. You call it the river of that place, Etiop River, for the state there. But you cannot do anything on that waterways until you go and get license from the federal government. So we're saying these are, let's devolve this power. You understand? Because when you devolve it, it will mean that the state cannot have authority to oversee. But you ask yourself the question again. The last time the National Assembly wanted to pass a bill for devolution of power, it did not pass.
Why?
It didn't pass because a lot of lawmakers voted against it. You know what devolution of power means? Once there is devolution of power, there will be no need for National Assembly. There will be no need because by the time you have devolved power completely to the states, and the state now have authority, this thing that you need 3 senators and then the number of House of Rep, federal population and the area will become very insignificant because then you would have shrunk what they usually go to the center to do. You understand? What gives them the impetus to legislate at the center? All those issues would have been brought down to the state level. You understand? So what it will mean is that the devolution of power might lead to a situation where the constitution will be amended for you to have just one representative per state, just like you have in the US. I mean, at the center.
Yes.
So, and the National Assembly, they are the one in charge of making sure that this thing pull through before they bring it to the state for the House of Assembly's concurrence. You understand? So if not that our politicians are selfish, by now we should have devolved power a long time ago. The politics they play is not politics of principle, it's politics of selfishness. You understand? That is why you see somebody like Tinubu who was heavily canvassing for restructuring. Not just today, far back from when they had this Nadeko and the rest of them. He was one of the leaders. Part of why he fled the country was part of his advocacy for political equality. You understand? But now he's the president today. When was the last time he talked about devolution of power or even advocate for restructuring? You will not hear that. Instead, what you're hearing from this politician is that we in the north, what is restructuring to us is different from what is restructuring to
exactly
people in the south. What is restructuring? I don't know. You see, if we're not going to, for me, I think that If we don't develop power in Nigeria, we are going nowhere really. We are going nowhere. Because the federal government have no competence in most of the issues under the exclusive list. Just imagine, for example, that Apapa Seaport, just take an example now, like Apapa Seaport is being run by Apapa local government. Just imagine. Apapa will be far more developed than it is today. If you go to the US, local government handle issues as high as management of waterways and sea. Local governments have airports. You understand? So why can't you, local governments, they construct roads, they maintain it, they collect revenue. That is why everywhere is developed. That's why you said they don't have villages. There's light everywhere. Local government, state government, everybody is working. Everybody and we just feel that it will reduce power. I don't see it like that. Because it will mean that power is now evil at every. So everywhere will develop by force. You understand?
That is if they are looking at development.
Yeah, that's development.
What they are looking at is just about the power.
Exactly.
Being in position of authority. And that's why you see most of their policies. And if you look at the budgets, you will see that most of the things there are things that has to do with personal life.
Recurrent, yeah.
And this and that. And what is meant for generality of the people are very small. So it's not about, if it's only those who have development progressive mind that will say what you are saying. They are not there, they are there for themselves. That's why we can see them say we should tighten our belt and see them buy 160 million SUV, see them buy yachts, see them buy cars for the first lady, and then sharing money the way they want to share it.
Forgetting that if they develop power and power gets to everyone, there will be no need to ride a bulletproof car.
Definitely.
There will be no need.
How would they control you?
You understand?
How do they control you? Everything is okay.
So there is that control necessary.
No, that's their own mentality. They want to become that Alpha and Omega.
Exactly.
You can see one person boasting, I bought phone for everybody.
Exactly.
So he's saying, your code does not matter. It was what he wanted that happened. So
exactly.
that is what they want. They want to, they fight. You see, these people, like I said, most of these politicians that you're talking about, they are not looking for the money. What they are looking for is for the relevance and the one in charge. It's not about the money itself. So I'm the one in control. I control everything. I'm in charge. That in charge is money for them. It's also money.
So and you are in charge, and the people are poor and downtrodden.
They don't care.
And that's why
they have no sense of shame.
No, because I agree with you. Because that's why somebody will be bold enough to start, and then they will be happy to say they will want to lift millions of people out of poverty by giving 20,000 naira.
Yeah.
20,000 naira that's not enough for that person that is making that announcement to buy a credit card for a day.
There's something also called provision of jobs. The type that Kiamo did when he was a labor.
Where is that?
He said that for 3 months people will get 25,000 for 3 months. They've created jobs.
And thereafter, what happened?
And no jobs.
No, they'll tell you those people that have been given that opportunity have been taken out of poverty.
Yes.
As if I had.
Well, they call it creation of jobs.
Well, that's actually very, very funny. Let's move to our last newspaper review for today, and it's coming from the Punch newspaper. And the big story there says NNPCL marketers clash over subsidy. Operators peg petrol at 1,200 naira per litre. And the writer there says marketers oppose federal government on subsidy. NNPCL says fuel importation cost now fully recovered, and dealers insist on 1,200 naira per litre. Wow, that's a big one. On the top slip of the newspaper, we have CBN bars crypto bank account operators from cash withdrawals, and federal government shuts 18 foreign university campuses in Nigeria. Gentlemen, let's look at this issue. There's so much to talk about here, but let's start with the NNPC and marketers pegging petrol at 1,200 naira per litre. Isn't it difficult for these people to see that Nigerians can't afford this? Like, realistically, we cannot afford this. It's not about increasing or pegging it at 1,200 naira. Can Nigerians afford it at 1,200 naira? Let's even forget about the fact that the federal government might come into this. Let's look at it from a business angle. If marketers increase the pump price to 1,200 naira, isn't it visible for them to understand that Nigerians can't afford it? Let me start with you, Barrister.
It's quite clear already. What we are selling for 65, some sell 70 and all that. We can't even afford it as it is right now. 650
50 now.
And the 700 and the likes. It's even in Lagos here that you get this 650 and all that. When you go to other places, it's sold higher because of the deregulation. Now, that also, because you see, the World Bank shared this information not too long ago.
Yes.
About 3 weeks ago. That the landing cost for this is more than 65. Now, why is the federal government selling for that amount? Why are they pegging it at that amount? Okay, so it means that the marketers are coming to give us further revelation that the World Bank is even wrong. You understand that it should be 1,200
instead.
Okay, she wants to factor in the landing cost and the profit margin. If you put everything together, what they are saying that it should be at 1,200. Now, that projection is demonic. That projection is mind-boggling. Because what it will mean is that if fuel is sold for 1,200, it means that the loaf of bread will be 5,000 naira.
Exactly.
That's what it means. The loaf of bread will be 5,000
True.
naira. And you see, the minimum wage is still
The same. Yeah.
Okay. So if we get to that threshold where you have to sell it, I don't think some of these children who go to public schools, who are currently trekking, I don't think they will go to school again. Because before now, they enter the bus and they lap themselves to pay for one seat. Now, when this increment,
They trek.
Then when you now take it to 1,200, I'm just looking at the grassroots,
Yes.
the end user, the man on the street. You understand? What it will mean is that a bowl of akara or bean cake will be like 700 naira or something like that. So it will get to a stage where it is only those who are rich that will be able to afford food. So the rich will not focus on food. While the poor, I mean, if you cannot eat, what else are you going to do? So they should not even go there at all.
But can we sense this as an ambush on the president's determination to revive our economy?
Well,
Can we sense
it's not an ambush now. They are telling you the marketers, okay, those who are bringing this product into the country, the hurdles it takes them to get it across, they will not sell below that now. Okay? So the solution is that our refineries should work. We are getting to that stage where it's the only solution. Before now, the options are that we can, so you can import it in now. I said you could import is faster, smarter, and all that. But now, when the price has gone to this level, then we'll have no other choice than to ensure that the refineries work. And if the refineries cannot work under the circumstance, I don't know where we will be heading to. And the federal government must be very careful about this, because the things that lead to crisis in some other country or in places, this is just like one of the, in South Africa, they protested sometime not too long ago. You know why they protested? Lack of power supply.
ESCOM.
Yes. They had to protest. Okay, they staged a serious mass protest. Okay, so here we're used to the power supply, lack of power supply. We're used to that one. What I'm not sure we're used to is to buy fuel at that rate. I'm not sure that. I'm not sure the federal government can contain the citizen under that condition. They cannot contain the citizen under that condition because they will break loose.
Exactly.
And it's better not to go there at all because once they break loose, it will open up other wounds, other grievances. You understand? And there will be problems, serious problems. So whatever it is, if they have to sell 1,200, if they have to sell 1,200, the federal government must pay the difference. They must pay the difference, and it will be penalty for not making the refineries to work. They must go back to full subsidy regime, implement full subsidy regime. This one, they don't like subsidies gone here because they will go back there and then pay that difference. Because the citizens will come and say, we cannot exceed that 600. Even that 600, we want you to reduce it to 400 and then pay the difference. The security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. Is that not it?
True.
So let the government pay the money.
Pastor Abdul, still on all of this.
I was laughing when he was making a statement saying if the thing goes to 1,200, Nigeria will accept.
Nigerians would accept.
Nigeria, we are. For me, you see, if you can accept fair to go from 180, how much was it? 180 naira or so to 600 naira or 500 naira, and there is no ulabalu or bulaba. Then you said no. I tell you, what they will look for is to see how they will cope. If Nigeria is pushed to the wall, you know they said that when you are pushed to the wall, you fight back. In Nigerian case, they will be thinking of how to break the wall.
Sir, if you remember NSAS, you understand? You know, nobody expected what happened, but it did happen. So don't you think you are taking Nigerians for granted, and the possibility of tearing up everything could be?
I'm not taking Nigeria for granted, and I know. But I'm telling you, we have been polarized. All these protests you talk about, it's not just anybody bring it out or they are just doing it. It's sponsored sometimes. And you can remember when Goodluck Jonathan, former president, said they wanted to remove a subsidy. Those protests you see, Occupy Nigeria. Do you think it was Nigerians? It was sponsored by people in government today to bring down the government. And that was what happened. So for me, and I'm telling you the reality of that, those who are speaking regarding 1,002 or whatever, they are not saying that's what they want to say. They are telling you if you are to sell based on what we import, we should be paying 1,000. Which indirectly they are telling us that the subsidy that they say is gone is not gone. The subsidy still exists. In other words, they are still telling us that look, what is gone is partial. They may not be paying full subsidy, but they are still paying subsidy. They are still making up that between 650 and 1,002 by the government. So that is insincerity on the part of the government. The government will not come out and tell you. And you see, I hate to say it that we have been victimized because people like me, I was one of those who stood against subsidy removal. And behold, those who are called experts in the oil industry, they were ailing the market forces in a country where there is no regulation. Market forces in a country where we don't determine how dollar rates. Market forces in a country where we don't have refinery. I said, look, I'm not against subsidy, but the things that are supposed to have been put in place before subsidy is removed are not in place. All the issue of refinery must work. You need to have put them in place, working, before we can say, okay, now that this is working, now that we have a stable electricity, now that we have this and that, we can now say, let's remove our hands from spending money on subsidy. And this money they have been saved from subsidy, according to them, please, where are the money?
Where's the money?
I said it that time. You go to my Facebook page. I said it that look, this so-called subsidy removal, whatever that will be saved from it, will be used for the life
9 trillion
of those in government. And what are they doing now? Buying Jeep.
I'm a strong advocate of subsidy. We should continue to pay it.
Of course, there's nothing bad in it.
Yes.
What is our money? Use my money to benefit me. There's nothing bad in it. When people talk about how can you be selling your assets, how can you have assets that you don't use and you are hungry, you are starving. There are so many government property that are wasting away. But when anybody comes and say, I will sell it, they will say it's Atiku said that time that he wants to sell some of the assets. They say this and that, political whatever. And those people who started against him at that time, they are also saying the same thing thereafter. So we are not sincere to ourselves. I listened to a program today this morning, and I heard one of those strong supporters of subsidy removal talking about justifying why they should bring back subsidy now.
They should bring it back.
No, justifying why the government is paying that differential. And I say, you now saying the government must do something to make people comfortable. I say, okay, so when they were removing it, and they were saying we must tighten our belt, they don't know that is difficulty. So most of us who are analysts too are not sincere, and I know some of these analysts that we're talking about. Some of them belong to this party, but they are working. They are not open members of the party, but they will be working, and then they. So you see, if we are not sincere with ourselves, the followers and the government agent and those in government will be getting the kind of result we are getting. And like I said again, I will be waiting. I will be happy if Nigeria will not, even if sell it 2,000 naira per liter. People will be looking for a way to go around it. Especially this Gen Z that you see, they are not concerned about all these things. What their own life, let me just live and enjoy myself. Once they enjoy themselves and they are playing music, they don't care about all these things you are saying. And they don't even know, most of them don't even know how this money comes. Their parents will provide it and they don't care.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. Very, very true.
So you say once they are playing music now.
And the old ones, they will tell you, hey, you people, if you know what happened during the Civil War, you will not be saying this. So you will not be encouraging the old ones. The middle ones will say, most of them are comfortable, and they will say, me, I cannot kill myself since I'm enjoying myself. They don't forgetting that, look, once the country is not working well, you might even the money we are seeing, you won't see again.
Exactly. Well, that's just about the time we have for our newspaper reviews today. I'd love to say thank you to Barrister Evans Ofeli for being part of our show today, and Barrister Tunji Abdulhamid, thank you so very much also for being part of our show today. When we return, we'll review the big question: can the Labour Party labour its way through the trenches of becoming Nigeria's main opposition party? I'll be back in a bit. Please don't go anywhere. It's still Enterprise Morning.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.